Yo, yo, yo. What up, peoples? Happy Tuesday. Yo, Jimmy's. What up? Welcome in, welcome in. Yeah, no. The thumbnail was probably God of Weapons. I'm guessing that's probably what you saw. I don't know. Depends on what exactly you're talking about, but if it's from what we've been playing recently, yesterday and half the day before, we were playing a game called God of Weapons, which is a really cool little roguelike game. Here, I'll show you real quick. Let me just, this is what it is. God of Weapons! It's like $5 on Steam. It's a dope little roguelike game. It's all about like managing your inventory space between, or like while you're doing your runs. You've got an inventory, and as you level up, you get to add inventory space, but your weapons and items and everything that you buy between each run take up different weird, it's kind of like Tetrising everything in there that you need, and you unlock, yeah, it's a pretty well developed actually little roguelike game. It's only like $5 on Steam, and the more runs you do, obviously like most roguelikes, the more stuff you unlock, more characters you unlock, stuff like that. It's a really cool little game. I highly recommend. It was fun. If we weren't switching into playing some beta stuff today of First Descendant, I would probably I would still be playing it today for sure, actually. It's a lot of fun. It's a cool little game. But I have played Hand of Fate, and it's a cool game too, man. Yeah. So, I don't know. What's up, everybody? How's it going? Happy flippin' Tuesday. Hope everybody's doing well. Hope your week is rolling, getting rolling to a good start, you know. I know the beginning of the week's not always the highlight of most people's week-long adventures, but you just keep on trucking, man. The end of it will be here soon, you know. So we've got video gaming news to start off the stream today. As we always do. So, video gaming news for today, 19th of September. And then we will run into playing our first try at the First Descendant beta testing. So, I got notified yesterday. I got access to the First Descendant beta. We're going to try that out and see what it's all about. Little loot and shoot game. Co-op styled game, and we'll see what it's all about. I didn't really know much about it until we got to take a look at all the showcases that popped off in June. It's a Nexon game, if I remember correctly. Let me see real quick. Is it Nexon? Yep, it's a Nexon game. So we'll see what's up. And hopefully it'll be a good time. It's always a good time for me, hanging out with cool peoples and playing video games, so I don't know. We'll see what we get into anyways. Let's go ahead and start this jam off with our video gaming news stuff, man. Let's hop in, let's get over there and do what we do, you know what I'm saying? Let's go. Leaked Microsoft schedule mentions Dishonored 3, a Ghostwire Tokyo sequel, which is Tango. Ooh, Dishonored 3. Huh. Same dev behind Redfall, right? Do we trust them anymore? I mean, look, that's Arcane, right? I think that's Arcane. Arcane has done a pretty good job at making software for a long time, which is why I think a lot of people thought, well, Redfall will probably be decent, but everything I saw about Redfall just screamed mediocrity to me, really, which is why I had no care to play that game on release. And yeah, it was exactly what I mean, I don't even think it was mediocre. I think most people thought it was pretty bad, actually. I didn't try it, but out of all the reviews and everything I read, it didn't really seem worth trying. Does that make sense? So I don't know, but a lot of the other games they've made are games that people have enjoyed quite a bit, Dishonored being some of those games. So I don't know, maybe they'll be able to redeem themselves here, Arcane, but I'll be honest, I think people should be a bit worried about the quality of a game like Dishonored 3 after seeing what Arcane did with Redfall. I think that's warranted. Their reputation's been tainted, I would say, by the Redfall thing. But we'll pull this up. We'll talk about this. We'll see what all we've gotten leaked here. Microsoft planning to stream PC cloud games. All right, cool. Yeah, Lies of P is looking like a good game, man. It's looking like people are enjoying it right now. We'll pull it. We'll pull up some more Metacritic stuff on that. I think we're actually going to get user reviews today. I actually want to start bumping up our. I use Metacritic a lot, but what's the other one? I want to start bumping up these sites against each other when I do these reviews. Is it OpenCritic? I think it's OpenCritic that I want to look at. Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to start bumping up a couple of different sites here. The more data we can kind of push together across multiple sites to get a nice consensus of what we're dealing with here. Like you can see Metacritic has an 81, but OpenCritic has it as an 82. You know, and then the user reviews too, we'll be able to bump those. And I usually take a look at Steam also, but I'm going to start doing that. Let me see something. Are we getting polluted with game is hard stuff still? I'll go back just a moment. Just give me a second. Yeah, I think we're gonna be okay, actually. Yeah, I think we're gonna be okay. Yeah, we had some weird stuff going on there for about a week where we were just getting slaughtered. Just our searches were being polluted with game is hard stuff. It was weird. So Microsoft's next Xbox coming in 2028 envisions hybrid computing. Yeah, I mean, so look, it's almost 3 years. Almost 3 years since the Xbox Series X and S and the PlayStation 5 have released. That'll be November. November will have been 3-year anniversary of those consoles releasing. The normal life cycle of a console is roughly 7 years average, around, give or take a little bit. Okay, so if 2028 would be 8 years old, if they released in November of 2028, that would be Xbox Series X and S being 8 years old before their next console comes out. Now, I've been saying this for quite a while now. So apparently what's coming out is they're envisioning a hybrid computing environment for their next console. I've actually said that I feel like they need to pivot away from their traditional console. I've envisioned them actually moving more towards something like what we've seen with Nintendo doing on the Switch, or the same thing with the Steam Deck or the Lenovo Legion Go that's coming out, or you know, the Asus ROG Ally, something to that effect, something that gives you the mobile aspect of gaming, along with being able to play that dual role of docking into a traditional console. Something like that plays too well for Microsoft's portfolio, the services they offer and everything. You know what I mean? I've said that for a while. And apparently we've got a little bit of leaked information that they are maybe planning on moving away from their traditional console. What exactly that will mean for them, maybe we'll find out reading this article, okay? This probably isn't worth diving into. This is probably fixed by now, but the PlayStation Network experienced a major outage yesterday, preventing access to single-player games for thousands of fans. Let me just make sure this is fixed now. Is this updated? Yeah, here's the big deal. This is the big issue, right? So while you'd be forgiven for thinking single-player games don't require an internet connection, right? Yo, Davey, what's up, buddy? In this digital age, no internet means a lot of internal gaming services simply don't work. This can leave many players limited in what they can and can't play. That is DRM. And most platforms use it. Xbox finally got rid of it. So if you have single player games that have already been installed, or you know what I mean, whatever, you don't have to connect to their network to play those games or whatever. PlayStation's still really bad about it. Nintendo's still really bad about it. Even PC platforms, Steam's bad about it. Epic's bad about it. GOG is a platform, Good Old Games. They are one that I promote a lot because they are one of the few platforms, and for PC especially, that does not use DRM. So meaning that you can have a single player game that doesn't require an internet connection for any of the gameplay. You can download it, install it, and if you don't have an internet connection, or if GOG servers go down or whatever, it doesn't matter. You can still play that game. It doesn't matter. Whereas a lot of these other services, like what you see with PlayStation right here, if you can't connect to their servers, you can't play your single player games because they can't connect to your account or whatever. That sucks. So that's a big deal. It's been fixed already, but that's a big issue right there, you know? Tales of Arise is a beautiful game. Yo, dude, I'm glad you're enjoying it, man. That's great. Give me more. Give me more. How many hours do you have in it right now? Apparently, Xbox was really trying to acquire Nintendo. I don't know. I don't think that I could ever see that happening, dude. About 23. What's the best parts about the game so far for you besides just like the visual experience? I'm glad it looks good. What else you loving about it, dude? Hit me with it. Combat's solid. Is it closer to turn-based, or is Tales of Arise more like an action combat style RPG? What are we talking here? I can't remember. That's great. The combat feels good, though. I probably just need to pull up a trailer and look at it. I know you're probably getting ready for work and stuff, dude. Set up what actions I want my other party members to have, but it's action. Oh, that's cool, dude. Nice. All right, cool. Nice. Solid. Thanks, man. Yeah. I can't remember. I mean, I can like kind of picture a little bit of it in my mind's eye, but not a whole lot. Phil Spencer wanted to buy Nintendo and Valve. Oh no 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 no. No 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 no. I'd be fine with him buying Nintendo. But you leave Valve out of this, dude. No. No, 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 no. Look, man, people have been going, will Elder Scrolls 6 be exclusive to Xbox? Of course it will. And obviously anything that comes out on Xbox comes out on PC as well. So, I mean, because Xbox is Microsoft, Microsoft is Windows, and that's PC, right? So that's what they do. But there's been all this, like, you know, hubbub here lately about proprietary first-party games for consoles and stuff, and people have been throwing a fit, whether it be Baldur's Gate or you know, which Baldur's Gate is finally going to come to Xbox now, but that wasn't really a first-party proprietary issue. Now, it was more like for like things like Final Fantasy 16 or Starfield, things like that, right? Where the platform players that aren't getting those games were like throwing a fit and everything. But I mean, this has been the case for virtually ever, dude, for consoles in the console wars. It's just the way it is. It always has been. And I don't know why people are all of a sudden throwing such a huge fit. Does it suck? In a perfect world, would we just have the games on every single console and they would perform brilliantly? Yeah, absolutely. But that's not the world we live in. So, I mean, it is what it is. People just need to understand that and come to grips with it. But obviously, the Elder Scrolls 6 is a Bethesda game. Bethesda is owned by Microsoft. Therefore, by proxy, you know that this game is going to be an Xbox exclusive. It's too flippin' big. Does that mean that it won't ever come out on PlayStation? No. It probably will at some point because Microsoft's not dumb. They know that the more platforms a game is on, the more they stand to make off of it. But initially, this is going to be a huge title to be rolled out for them exclusively for Xbox, for their Xbox services like subscriptions, subscription service, stuff like that, and for PC retail, Microsoft Store, whatever else, you know what I mean? So of course it's going to be for Xbox and PC. Anybody that thought it wouldn't be is out of their flipping mind, and they just don't understand how the gaming industry works. Bungie's new game is going to use Unreal Engine. We're going to see a lot of this coming up, guys, here. So let's I mean, we should have, I knew this was coming. I've talked about this over about the past 5 days in regards to the Unity thing. Unity is going to die. Unreal Engine is already being touted as a very, very consumer-friendly product. Unreal Engine 5 specifically, right? Then you throw into the mix all this Unity debacle, and they've basically crushed their own future. Unity has. They have shown all these developers their true colors. Developers are not going to want to have anything to do with them moving forward. To the point of a lot of developers even going, yo, we're gonna scratch our project, start it over from scratch, rebuild it on a new engine and everything. One moment. So, we're going to start getting a lot of reports of not just threats from these developers to move over to another engine, which, I mean, let's be fair, the other engine is Unreal Engine, right? We're going to start getting reports of the companies actually moving their projects over to where they're not going to be using Unity anymore. It's going to be official news. So we're going to start getting throttled with just big company after big company after big company that wasn't already on Unreal Engine now moving over. We're going to start getting a ton of it. And this is the beginning of it right here, Bungie. What? Bro, what? I'll believe it when I see it, yo. Keck, dude. Apple expects the iPhone 15 to be the best gaming console? Give me a break, dude. Hold on. Hold on. I gotta hit somebody up with this. Yeah, there we go. All right, dude. Yeah. Dude, I mean, give me a break, bro. Come on, dude. Give me a break. Oh, look, dude, I'm not gonna knock on anybody for enjoying Apple products if that's their jam or whatever. I do think that Apple is, as a company, it really takes advantage of consumers for locking people into a product just by being a fan of it. They really do take advantage of people with price. The products they make are not worth what they make people pay for them and stuff, in my opinion. But you know, if people enjoy it, they want to pay that amount of money for it or whatever. I mean, you do you, whatever. But let's be fair here. Apple has been behind the ball game as far as, and not just by a little bit, by quite a lot as far as gaming is concerned for quite a long time. Does that mean they couldn't make large steps forward or whatever? Absolutely, they could. But for them to come out now and be like, Apple, or, you know, our iPhone 15 is going to be the best gaming device ever made. Bro, no. No. Sorry. What is this? A fully upgradable gaming handheld introducing Pit Stop Tech's new creation. Let's take a look. I've seen a few things about this, and I was like, is this worth looking at? Let's look at it. Let's see what this is. We've already talked about Separate Ways release date. I'm not going to dive into that. Yo, when we get back on Thursday, we got the Capcom showcase to look at. You know, a gamer tried to remove pronouns from Starfield and it turned their character non-binary. That's actually hilarious. Yeah. Lords of the Fallen. I want to look at that. That doesn't release till next month though, right? Like October. What are we talking about for Lords of the Fallen? Brother, what? I clicked on this. Come on, man. October 13th, yeah. I'm really interested. I'm excited. This game looks very good. Obviously, 2014's Lords of the Fallen was not fantastic. But this is not the same game for anybody that thinks that. This is actually a completely different timeline, a completely different game. This isn't just like a remaster or remake or anything. This is something completely different. Same world, same universe and stuff, but this game looks dope. It looks really good, and I'm excited to see what they're doing with it. We've seen like an 18-minute preview of gameplay of the game already, and it looks really neat. Unity's changes to their price hike plans have been leaked. Doesn't matter, they're done, dude. Looks like Activision already got their hands on the Switch 2. I like that they actually kind of put some, you know, quotations around this, as that is not the definitive name for this console yet. Last year, look, we already knew that there were a lot of major developers that had gotten their hands on the Nintendo's upcoming hardware for development purposes. We knew that. So this is not, or shouldn't be, like eye-popping news for anybody really. Their new console is going to be coming out within the next year, give or take just a little bit. I truly think that their next console will be out probably around mid 2024. It could be even earlier than that. They could wait and try to go a little bit later to appeal to the holiday buying times and stuff, but we'll see what happens. But it will be next year, and they need to have games rolling out with it, you know? Meta's shutting down 3 VR games without explanation. That sounds about like Meta. Alright, let's go to our other search real quick. And let's take out some sports stuff. Make sure. Jesus Christ. Dude, people will blame video games for anything they can, won't they? Emmanuel Macron apparently blaming video games for French riots. Bro, god dang it. Jesus. When funny enough, if anything, video games probably kept more people at home playing games like Starfield right now that would have normally been out partaking in the riots. I mean, let's be fair here, dude. You know, like, why are so many people so quick to, like, throw shade at video game industry when it comes to stuff like this? They always want to use video games as, like, the scapegoat for whatever they can, instead of actually looking at what the true root cause is here. Instead of actually wanting to address the real problems behind what's going on, you know? Just blame it on video games, you know? Everybody else does, we'll just do the same thing. Flipping ding-dongs, man. Xbox Series X is ditching the disk drive in October of next year, so like a year from now? What? Okay. Look, dude, optical drives should have not even been a part of the modern consoles. Talking about, like, Xboxes and PlayStations, they should have switched over. Now, okay, don't get me wrong. In my opinion, they should still have the option of attaching an optical drive to them, or they could have an optical drive in them. That's fine for backwards compatibility, because consoles should have backwards compatibility. But that is an old media standard that cannot live up to the size of games now. So physical games, or a lot of bigger AAA games, can't even fit on one physical disc anymore. So really what they should have done is switched over to something more along the lines of like what the Switch has done with like micro SD cards as cartridges or whatever, because you can fit a lot more data on those. And they're not as big, they don't take up as much space, and you know what I mean. But here we are, and they did, and we'll see what this means, you know. This is the no disk drive one. That's what we've already got that up. Oh, Liza P hit Game Pass a day early? What? Oh, that's cool for people. Nice. I'm really glad that game's turning out to be good. I followed that for a long time in its development, and I was really interested in the premise of that game. I want to play it. Just have so much other stuff going on right now. This is that like rough time of the year. There's so many game releases, man. You know, it's like trying to pick and choose what games you're going to play is really brutal. Especially for somebody that plays games like I do. Like, I don't like rushing my way through games. I like to kind of take my time and really experience a game for everything it has to offer. And it makes it tough to really pick and choose which games you're gonna take a dive into, you know. It gets really difficult sometimes. Oh baby, dude, NHL's starting to heat up. NHL's gonna be here before we know it. Dude, I love NHL. I love it. Not talking about the video game either. I mean the sport, dude. I love hockey. You used to love the video game until EA ruined it. I mean, but that's to be expected, right? Yeah. Oh, look, dude. Players are taking aim at Mortal Kombat 1's Nintendo Switch port, dude. Yeah. Oh, bro. You knew it was going to be Who was telling me about this? Was it a Lunico? Oh, Jesus. Dude, look, man. Anybody that thought they were going to buy this game on the Switch and it was going to look like a version on any other platform, I mean, come on, dude. It looks so bad. It looks so bad. I mean, look, dude. I mean, here's the thing. You cannot fault NetherRealm or WB for this. This is a Nintendo issue. This is a Nintendo issue. Their hardware is trash. All right? There's only so much you can do to get like a game that looks like Mortal Kombat 1 and plays like Mortal Kombat 1 to play on a device like the Switch, okay? And, I mean, if you want to play it bad enough and all you have is a Switch, you're just going to have to deal with that. It is what it is. But you have to understand the difference between that. You know? It's been this way for quite a while. You go look at The Witcher 3. Witcher 3, dude, has been out for a long time now on the Switch. It does not look nearly anything hardly like what it does on other platforms. You know? That's just the way it goes. They have to really, 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 like, dumb down a game, dude, to get it to play on the Switch if it's anything remotely close to, like, a high fidelity game on other platforms. It doesn't work very well on the Switch. I mean, we've even seen things like, you know, how long had they been touting a game like Genshin Impact? You know, Genshin Impact, dude, was supposed to be coming to the Switch for years, and they could never get it to work right. And that's not, I mean, that game has more of a cartoony kind of animated vibe, closer to something like Tears of the Kingdom, but they can't get it to work, dude. I don't think they're going to get that game on the Switch until the next gen Switch comes out. Yo, General, what up, man? What's going on, buddy? So, I mean, we'll read about this, but yeah, I had heard about this too. But I mean, you can't expect a game that looks like Mortal Kombat 1 and plays like Mortal Kombat 1. First of all, let's just be real honest here. A fighting game. Look, almost every single game that has ever come out for the Switch is locked at 30 frames. Because the hardware is old and it's underpowered. So that in and of itself means that you're going to be at a disadvantage playing a game like this, as opposed to playing it on another platform where you can at least get 60 frames, if not more, right? Then you want to talk about the graphical fidelity of it. There's no way anybody that knows anything about gaming, you should just know that this game is not going to be anything remotely close to what it is on other platforms. We'll dive into it, but this is a look at it. Good night. I mean, to be fair, it's actually scarier looking. How much happy, General? I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. We're gonna be playing some beta access today of First Descendant. Yeah, First Descendant beta access. So we're gonna try that out today, dude. See how that is. Should be cool. What are you up to, man? All right, let's jump into these articles here. Let's go for it. Fully upgradable gaming handheld introducing Pit Stop Tech's new creation. What is this? Good flippin' night, bro. YouTuber Pit Stop Tech has recently unveiled their latest project, a fully upgradable gaming handheld. In collaboration with Framework, they've built a customizable device that offers a unique gaming experience for enthusiasts. Equipped with a range... Oh, here, let me turn off the music. Sorry, guys. Turn off the music. Now that we're diving into these articles, yeah. Equipped with a range of high-performance components, this handheld aims to deliver an exceptional gaming performance on a compact screen. Main board of Pit Stop Tech's gaming handheld features the powerful Intel Core i7-1260p processor, coupled with a 7-inch full HD touchscreen display, 16 gigs of RAM, and a 512 gigabyte solid-state drive. This device is equipped to handle the demands of modern gaming. The inclusion of dual front-facing speakers ensures an immersive audio experience, while the detachable controllers offer an added convenience and flexibility. One of the standout features of this handheld is its upgradability. Pit Stop Tech has utilized Framework's upgradable motherboard, allowing users to easily swap out components and keep up with the advancements in technology. This ensures that the gaming experience can be enhanced over time, making the device future-proof. Additionally, the gaming handheld boasts a 55-watt battery, providing sufficient power for extended gaming sessions. That's quite a bit over what most handhelds have today. I think, what is it? Like the Steam Deck's a 40. I think the Lenovo Legion Go's also a 40. Or no. Lenovo Legion Go's like closer to a 50. But the Asus ROG Ally, I think, is a 40 as well. So this is bigger than all of those. Doesn't MK1 need to approve of the graphics before making it official for Switch? Well, probably, yeah. But I mean, it doesn't change the fact that there's nothing they can do to make the game close to what it originally was going to be on other platforms. It doesn't change the fact. Right? Nintendo is the one that doesn't, they're bottlenecking developers, dude. The hardware is so flippin' old, as well as it being just underpowered hardware, right? So if Nintendo wants that game to be on their platform, right, then the developer's like, yeah, we can probably do it, but it's not going to look the same or whatever. And not only is that something that Nintendo knows, that's something that NetherRealm knows, that's something that WB understands, that's something that gamers have to understand as well. If you're a Nintendo gamer, that's something you should be well aware of. This is not like the first time that's ever happened. This has been the case on that platform for a long time now. So it's literally not NetherRealm's fault. It's not WB's fault. It is Nintendo's issue. Nintendo wants that game on their platform or whatever, then a lot of times developers are like, yeah, we can probably get it done, but it's not gonna, obviously be the same game that you see on the other platforms. There's just no flipping way. There's no way. Like I said, I gave you an example of like Witcher 3. Same thing. There are a lot of other games that have done it too. They just don't look the same. You can't do it. The hardware is too old and too underpowered. So, it's not NetherRealm's fault. It's not WB's fault. If they could make it look the same, they absolutely would. There's nothing they can do. It's a hardware issue. They're constrained literally by the fact that hardware is too old and too underpowered. So here's the deal. As far as it goes for like Nintendo fans, Switch players, the glass is literally half full. They're getting to play Mortal Kombat. If they have no other platform, they're getting to play Mortal Kombat. They're throwing a fit because it doesn't look that great. But it's not NetherRealm or WB's fault. WB's just a publisher, by the way. NetherRealm is the developer of Mortal Kombat 1. It's not their fault. They did, I'm sure, everything they could to make that game look and play as absolutely good as they could on that hardware. But that's what you get. That's what you get. And so either you can just be happy with the fact you're getting to play Mortal Kombat 1 on that type of hardware and deal with the fact that it's obviously not going to be the same kind of game. You know what I mean? Visually. And you're going to deal with some lower frame rates and stuff like that. Or you can sit there and throw a fit when it's literally Nintendo's issue. It is what it is. You say it doesn't MK1 need to approve of the graphics before it make it official for the Switch? Well, yeah, obviously, because it's not Nintendo that's making the port for the game. It's NetherRealm. NetherRealm's the one that actually makes the game for release on Nintendo. So if anything, it would have to be like Nintendo approving the game for release on their platform, not the way that you stated it, General. if anything, it would need to be some kind of contract set up for Nintendo going, yo, we would like to have Mortal Kombat 1 on our platform, or vice versa. You know what I mean? It would be like, either way that worked. It could have been Nintendo going to NetherRealm and WB and being like, yo, we would like to talk about getting Mortal Kombat 1 on our platform. Or it could have been vice versa. Could have been WB as the publisher going to Nintendo and being like, yo, how would you guys feel about Mortal Kombat 1 being on your platform? Whichever way that went, you know, they'd be like, okay, let's try to get a contract going. We'll see if we can make this work. But then it's literally like, you know, NetherRealm is the developer. So they're the ones that have to make the development of the game for each individual platform, right? Whether it be PC or PS5 or Xbox or Switch or whatever. And obviously for the Switch, it's a much different game, right? So they had to make the game, and then for it to be actually released on Nintendo, on Switch's platform, Nintendo would have to look at it, I'm sure, and go, okay, it's meeting our standards, we'll let you release it or whatever. You know, there's usually that kind of thing that happens, some kind of approval process. Yeah. So that's the way that would probably go. Yeah. So if anything, it would be Nintendo saying, yep, looks good, go ahead. But I really don't think, I really truly don't think there's anything they could do to make that game look any better on that hardware or play any better on that hardware. I just don't see it at all. What I do think is that it'll probably get a port to their new hardware next year, and it'll look and feel a lot better. We'll see, but I do think that'll probably happen. Their new hardware is going to be much better. It'll be newer. It'll perform better. Games will be easier to be hit that 60 frame rate standard. Graphics will feel better on it, and it's not going to be anything like. It's still going to be a mobile device. It's still going to be at a low price point, but it's going to be modern hardware. So mobile technology's gone a long ways. The evolution of it and everything, for sure. And so it'll still be a huge step up for Nintendo for the next few years, anyways. And I think that you could see something like Mortal Kombat 1 be ported over to the next Nintendo console, and it will be a much better experience. The gaming handheld boasts a 55-watt battery. Yeah, that's what we just talked about. Power for, which is more than most of the handhelds we've seen so far. With high-speed Wi-Fi and Bluetooth connectivity, users can seamlessly connect to online gaming platforms and play with friends. Pit Stop Tech has plans to release do-it-yourself kits based on this prototype design in the near future. This will give aspiring gaming enthusiasts the opportunity to assemble their own handheld gaming device tailored for their preferences. Stay tuned for updates. Yeah. That's kind of cool, man. Oh, I like that orange, baby. Yeah, look at the different configurations. Look at the different configurations you can set up for it and stuff. I'm not going to lie. I mean, this thing looks like something you would rip off of like a Kmart store shelf back in like 1991. You know what I mean? I'm not a big fan of the aesthetic of it. I like the orange here, but it looks like one of those old handheld gaming devices you would play like beep 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 like football or baseball on or something. You know what I mean? Like way back in the day. But you can see the different kinds of configurations you can set up on it. Look at all these buttons. 3 joysticks. I don't know why you would need 3 flipping joysticks, but you know, directional pad, 4 buttons below, 2 buttons here, joystick. Bro, I don't even know what this is. There's a lot of going on there, man. It's gonna be interesting to keep up with. If you guys want to look more at that, it's pretty interesting. I like the modular, aspect of stuff. I've said that for a while about controllers. Actually, I think that the thing that's really we talk about how important accessibility is for gamers. And there's such a focus on accessibility nowadays when it should have been here a long time ago. But we're starting to see a lot more accessibility options in the software development side, right? Where developers are incorporating much more accessibility options for people across the board, especially, anybody with any kind of, moderate to severe physical or mental handicap. But I've talked for a while about how I could see, I myself, I have a little bit of nerve damage in my right arm. And because I've had a number of surgeries on my arm and stuff like that. And so there are just ways in which I think that, like modular controllers, instead of just you get an Xbox controller or you get a PlayStation controller, whatever. And there are a couple of modular like controllers out there, but they're not quite as fully modular as I would like to see. And I think once we get to that point where you can just fully customize controllers to where it's just got like the baseboard and then it's just like magnetic attachments to where you can put all kinds of different button configurations, grip configurations, things like that. It's going to be a much nicer thing for people, just inherently for the way people like to play games, people of different hand sizes, and people in regards to accessibility. I think it's going to be a great thing. And I do think we'll get there in the not too distant future, really. But this is really neat. All right. Here, let's talk about this. And then I'll segue it into this next one with Bungie here. So, Unity's changes to price hike plans have been leaked. And let me just preface this with, I don't think it matters. I think Unity's done. We've talked about this over like the past 4 or 5 days. Ever since Unity came out with this, it was like 6 days ago. Unity came out the evening of the 12th, I think, and basically dropped this really wild new pricing scheme on developers. And TLDR, if you don't know exactly what it's about, it's like depending on what tier of subscription for the Unity engine developers would buy into, they'd have a different threshold of, once the game had been downloaded and installed a certain number of times, then every installation after that, developers would start accruing a price for every installation. And Unity literally did not think about any kind of additional outliers or repercussions of what that would mean, whether you're talking about subscription services or, because obviously subscription services allow very easy installation, uninstallation, installation, uninstallation, or even, installation bombing of companies that there are people out there that just have a vendetta against, because you can just set up virtual machines to run a script to just have a bunch of, nested virtual machines, run a script, and they could just sit there over and over and over and install, uninstall games. You name it. There's all kinds of, or charity games that are developed on that engine just for charity, for benefit, that literally only make money through like maybe ad space or whatever. And the amount of charges they would accrue would be way over what they would have made for charity. There's just a lot of things they didn't address, and it was really, it felt really scummy, and developers noticed it right off the bat, and of course the developers are going, well, what about this situation? What about this situation? What about this situation? And they just kept coming up with new things that Unity did not think about at all in a proactive stance. So instead, Unity's having to like kind of backtrack and address all these in a very reactive fashion, which looks bad anyways. And so, and of course Unity's going, oh, well, we're going to keep track of everything with our own proprietary system we've built, and ensure that nothing bad is going to happen. And yeah, okay, man, look, sorry, but I'm going to be right there in line with a lot of these developers in not being real comfortable thinking that your proprietary system is going to be foolproof and is going to be legit in making sure that I'm not being charged more than I'm supposed to be, when you would be the one benefiting anyways. That's like a conflict of interest there, you know. So there's just a lot of issues, and I mean, ultimately, I think what this comes down to is Unity showed their true colors here. You know, they really showed um, what they're about and what they're about moving forward. And I even said this initially, that even if Unity backtracked on this and tried to make this feel better, or even got rid of all these changes wholly, I don't think it matters. I think they've ruined their reputation now. I think they've made developers see them for who they truly are. And I think Unity is going to slowly die off now. I think, I mean, and here's the unfortunate part. So we talk a lot in about how good competition is, right? We've seen where companies have gotten off with not having competition and what it has done to the games they make. Take EA, for example, with a lot of the sports games they make. They don't have any competition, and those games just turn to trash because they know they don't need to do anything with them. You know, slap a new year on them every year, take out the players that aren't playing anymore, put in some players that are new to the league or whatever. Bam. Just make sure they're doing everything they can for their like ultimate team stuff, so they're making even more money than making people pay full price on release. They don't do anything to those games to really improve the gameplay, make sure they're not feeling buggy or jacked up on release or anything. They know nobody has anywhere else to go play those kinds of games. This is a bad situation ultimately in the long run, because what this is going to do is make everybody run to Unreal Engine. And look, I think Unreal Engine is a great engine. Unreal Engine 5 is looking fantastic, and it's very, very user-friendly from what I understand. But what's the competition now? And if you've got everybody on one engine, what would keep Unreal Engine from, you know what I mean, doing something similar in the future if they know they've got everybody on lock and nobody has anywhere else to run? So this is not a great situation, but I think Unity has really ruined themselves. I don't think that they can recover from this. What we've seen from the fallout of this was that there are many, many developers that have gone, we're done. From developers saying, yo, we're going to be totally scrapping our game and building it on a new engine, to developers saying, like Massive Monster with Cult of the Lamb, going, we're going to be totally removing our game from storefronts and sales and everything. So if you want to buy it now, because as of 1 January of next year, it'll no longer be available. Whether or not that's a kind of a, you know, a threat regarding this whole Unity situation or not, yet to be seen. We'll find out. But even on the front of publishers like Devolver, being one of my favorite publishers, they've even put out some social media stuff telling potential developers that would like them to look at their games as a publisher for developers' games. Be very careful about what engine moving forward you're developing your games on if you want us to publish your games, because it will matter moving forward. Meaning that basically, if you're developing on Unity, we don't want to be a part of it. You know, there's been a lot of stuff like that that's happened, and I think that even if Unity backtracked on this, which we're about to see right here, what their changes to this whole scheme have become. You know, I don't think it matters. I think that their reputation has been damaged beyond repair. I don't think that developers are going to want to have much to do with them moving forward. The unfortunate thing here is there are a lot of developers that are like well into development of projects already, and a lot of them are indie devs, and they can't really afford to just like shut down and move over to another engine or anything. So that is a bad feeling for those developers, and I feel for them very much. But ultimately, I think Unity is going to slowly die off. I don't think that developers are going to want to have a whole lot to do with Unity moving forward. Unless they can find some way to really, really make it up, basically do some kind of we will never ever you know, if you buy into what we're doing now, we can never change things on you. I don't know, man. It's been a week since Unity announced changes to its pricing structure and general price hike. These changes included charging developers for game installations after meeting a certain revenue threshold. According to Bloomberg's Jason Schreier, the company will be announcing changes to the controversial plan. These new changes, the report says, will limit fees to 4% of a game's revenue for customers making over $1 million US. In addition to the 4% fee, installations counted towards the threshold will no longer be retroactive, nor will they be tracked by a proprietary tool. Instead, Unity will only will rely on developers to self-report the data. In an all-hands meeting on Monday, Unity CEO John Riccitiello said that he didn't believe the backlash would have been different had the changes announced been different at the time. It absolutely would have. I don't think there's any version of this that would have gone down a whole lot differently than what happened. Riccitiello reportedly said, "It's a massively transformational change to our business model." He did, however, acknowledge the fact the company should have been better with how the news was delivered. You think? I think we could have done a lot of things better, he said. As far as when these updates to the policy will be announced, the company is reportedly waiting until partners are brought up to speed on what Unity has planned. Insider Gaming has reached out to Unity for comment on the reported changes. This all-hands meeting was originally scheduled for last week, but was rescheduled after the company received what it called credible death threats, causing the temporary closure of 2 studio locations. Yeah, so I think what we're going to be able to do here is sit down and watch. And we're going to start getting company after company after company saying they're changing over to not using Unity anymore. I don't care what changes they make. I don't think that anybody's going to want to have much to do with Unity moving forward. It doesn't matter. They've seen the true colors here. Unity is, I think that if you, I'm guessing Unity is a publicly traded company. You go look at their stock. Their stock is probably just crumbling. I would assume. And if not right now, it's going to be very soon. That would be my assumption. But segueing off of that into this next article, Bungie's new game is going to use Unreal Engine, reports claim. We're going to start getting a lot more of this type of article coming to us. Because like I said, there are going to be a lot of developers that can afford at this point to go, we don't want to have anything to do with Unity anymore. Even though our project is currently in the works and being built on Unity, we can afford to take time to break it down and build it on another engine. We're going to see a lot of those companies doing that now. And here's Bungie. I think that's going to be Bungie's response here. Bungie has been a busy studio as of late. In addition to continued updates to Destiny and the development of the recently announced extraction shooter Marathon, studio is also developing a third game codenamed Gummy Bears. This new game from Bungie is a PvP that is being developed in Unreal Engine. According to a report from the Game Post, the new game will allegedly be built in Unreal Engine 5 for current gen platforms. The game will be a team-based combat title with brightly colored characters and isometric gameplay. Project Gummy Bears will also be another live service game from the studio. Although primarily a competitive team-based game, it has also been suggested this title incorporates elements from real-time strategy games into its gameplay, the report claims. As far as the accuracy of this report, Insider Game has yet to verify with its independent sources. However, a quick look at Bungie's career page shows a job listing for an unannounced project where the required skills include the ability to code in C++, which is the language for the Unreal Engine. Yeah. So maybe this wasn't initially something that they were planning to do in Unity, but I do think that we're going to start getting more articles showing companies moving away from Unity moving forward. I do truly feel that way. So I'm expecting that. I thought that's what this was going to be, but I don't think it is. But I do think we're going to get that. Meta to shut down 3 VR games without explanation. I mean, is that a surprise coming from an evil corporation like Facebook/Meta? Meta, formerly known as Facebook, has announced that it will be shutting down 3 virtual reality games without providing any explanation to its users. The games in question are Dead and Buried 2, and BOGO. Existing game owners received an email from the tech giant informing them that support for these games will be discontinued on March 15th of next year. Dead and Buried, released in 2016, was one of the first multiplayer VR shooters to explore room-scale gameplay, featuring co-op PvP and single-player modes. The second iteration of Dead and Buried, a launch title for the original Oculus Quest, was released in May of 2019 by Meta's internal game development studio, Oculus Studios. BOGO, a free Oculus Quest launch title, allows users to raise and care for a virtual pet. While Meta has not provided a specific reason for the shutdown of these games, it is worth noting that the company has been focusing more on its metaverse initiatives. Recently, Meta announced its plan to bring in social VR app Horizon Worlds to the web and mobile platforms in early access for some users. The company has already started rolling out its first Meta Horizon World called Super Rumble on the Meta Quest app for Android, with iOS support coming soon. Okay. Yeah, that's about right for that company. No explanation. Here we go. So we have info now that apparently the Xbox Series X is ditching the disk drive in October of next year, following suit with PlayStation, with what they're doing with their new PlayStation release. So the Brooklyn Xbox Series X refresh, the most powerful Xbox ever, now adorably all digital. We've already had that with the Series S, right? So the Series S has already been a no disk drive, all digital version of the console. It will deliver 4K Gen 9 console gaming with more internal storage, faster Wi-Fi, reduced power, a more immersive controller, and a beautiful redesign that elevates the all-digital experience of the Xbox ecosystem. Beautiful and innovative new design. Yeah. 2 terabytes of storage. Great. I'm guessing that's a solid-state drive. Fantastic. USB-C front port with power delivery. All new, more immersive controller. Same great price, $500. All new South Bridge to modernize input, output, and sustainability efforts. Wi-Fi 6E radio, better throughput, latency, and interference mitigation. Bluetooth 5.2 radio for improved accessory experiences. And 6 nanometer die shrink for improved efficiency. Reduced PSU power by 15%. New low power standby mode is 20% of current XSS standby mode. Increased use of PCR on housing to greater than 30%. And 100% recyclable packaging. Apparently, the new console was accidentally revealed in the FTC versus Microsoft documents, and the changes to the console go well beyond just removing the drive. The all-digital Xbox Series X, which is codenamed Brooklyn, will be cylindrical in shape and adds support for Wi-Fi 6E, and Bluetooth 5.2, which we just read. Here's the new controller. Alongside the console hardware refresh, Microsoft is introducing a new controller codenamed Sybil. It will support a 2-tone color scheme, support Bluetooth 5.2, and direct connection to the cloud, and includes an accelerometer. The buttons and thumbsticks are quieter, and Microsoft is promising to offer precision haptic feedback and VCA haptics double as speakers. Interesting. This actually looks like a more rubber compound wrapped for better grip. But I could be wrong. And Elwood is the Series S refresh. Same kind of stuff going on with the Wi-Fi 6E, Bluetooth 5.2. The internal storage is being updated to 1 terabyte. Cool. That's about what we need to know. So it looks like around this time next year, we'll be getting these updated consoles from Microsoft and Xbox. If you need to read more about some of the stats in there on those, there you go. Players are taking aim at Mortal Kombat 1's Nintendo Switch port. All right, here we go. Its graphics and performance have been criticized. The full Invasions mode has been delayed. The Switch version of Mortal Kombat 1 is receiving strong criticism from some fans and reviewers ahead of its release on Tuesday. That's today. The game isn't on general sale until the 19th today, but early access is currently available for players who pre-ordered Mortal Kombat 1's Premium Edition or Collector's Edition. While NetherRealm Studios developed the PS5 and Xbox Series X and S versions of the game, the PC and Switch versions have been handled by QLOC. Oh. and Shiver Entertainment / Saber Interactive, respectively. Oh, gross. Why? A number of players have taken to social media platforms and online forums over the past few days to highlight the graphical differences between the current gen and Switch versions of Mortal Kombat 1. So I was wrong. I just assumed that it would be NetherRealm that was handling the port of the originally developed game to the Switch. But apparently the PC and Switch versions were handled by QLOC and Shiver / Saber. While the Switch version was never expected to go toe-to-toe with the other ones, visually its graphical downgrades combined with significant performance issues have left some commenters questioning why Nintendo players are being asked to pay $70, the same amount as the game costs on other consoles, for what appears to be a clearly inferior product. Unlike in the US and the UK, the Switch version is £5 cheaper than the game costs on Xbox and PlayStation consoles. Look, man. This is a Nintendo issue. This is not a NetherRealm WB issue. This is a brand new game. It is an unreleased game. Don't get me wrong, man. Do I feel like this game should be worth $70 with the way it probably performs and looks? No. But people have to understand that the Switch is a very underpowered piece of hardware. It is it's getting very old. It was already just underpowered only a couple of years really into its release because of the mobile hardware it was built on. The hardware is even a year older than the Switch is. So people have to understand that, like, a game that comes out on the Switch that's actually developed for other platforms first and foremost, like take something like The Witcher 3, it's not going to look the same. It's not going to perform the same. Almost every game on the Switch is locked at a 30 frames per second frame rate. So any game that is on another console, any game that is an action combat game, an action RPG, a third-person shooter, a first-person shooter, anything like that is not going to perform as well on the Switch as it will on any other console because it's going to be locked at 30 frames. And this is a Nintendo issue. Nintendo's hardware in the Switch is old and it is very, very underpowered. So, I mean, people can gripe all they want, but they have to understand the way that this works. Either you get to play Mortal Kombat 1 on the Switch, you know what I mean? Because that's the only console you have and you wanted to play that game and they released it on that, but it's probably the best they could make it. They're severely, severely handcuffed, developers are, to get games like Mortal Kombat 1, modern, high-fidelity kind of games, especially games that play much better at a higher frame rate, to work on a console and hardware like the Switch. It's not easy for them. And it's never going to feel the same on the Switch as it does on other platforms. The Switch is old and it's underpowered. That's it. It's a Nintendo issue. Nintendo's needed a new console for a number of years now, but they've tried to stretch their Switch out, and this is the result. This is what happens. And the consumers and fans of the Switch have to understand that. You can cry all you want about some of these other games that come out and get ported to the Switch that weren't originally supposed to be made for the Switch because they're made for modern hardware. You can cry all you want, but it's not their problem. It's Nintendo's issue. And yeah, now we're going to get a new Nintendo console within the next year or whatever, give or take a little bit. And that'll help stuff. And there'll probably be a Mortal Kombat 1 port that'll feel a lot better on that console. But this is what you get. It probably couldn't be done much better. To be fair, every single game that comes out for the Switch looks dated to me. And it has for years now. So I don't know what people thought they were going to get out of a game like Mortal Kombat 1 being ported over to a console like the Switch. This is not a surprise to me. I think to anybody that is throwing a fit about this and, is surprised at the way the game looks and performs is just ignorant to the way the gaming industry works and hardware and tech and stuff. I'm not saying stupid. I'm saying ignorant. It is what it is. Would I buy this game for $70 on the Switch? No. No, I wouldn't. Absolutely not. But I wouldn't buy this game for the Switch because I already know that a game like this isn't going to play well or look good on the Switch. And most people should know that too, especially if you're a Switch owner. If you're an avid Switch player, you should know that. And so, I don't know. I feel like buying into this and thinking that you're going to get the same experience that people are going to get on a PC or PS5 or Xbox, you're fooling yourself. You should have known that in the first place. So, I don't know. Am I surprised? I mean, does the $70 price point for a game that looks and feels like that on this platform feel good? No, but it is a AAA game releasing across all platforms, and it's not like they're going to just take the game down on one platform and leave it at a AAA price point on all the others. You know what I mean? That's also a reality of the gaming industry that the gaming world we live in, you know? Current gen versions of the game have been well received by critics, garnering 88 on Xbox Series X and S, 86 on PS5. Scores on review aggregation site Metacritic. Few Switch reviews have been published so far, and those that have are relatively unfavorable. Frame rate issues, big resolution dips, input timing problems, related performance drops, missing content, game-breaking bugs in invasion mode, long loading times, and unresponsive menus. Nintendo fans keep saying graphics don't matter. Mortal Kombat heard you loud and clear. $70 for this. That's actually hilarious, dude. That's a great response. If you're a huge Mortal Kombat fan whose only option is Switch, you may be able to press through all of this. However, if you have any other option, we suggest you stay away from this one for now. It concludes, yeah. To make matters worse, the Switch version is currently missing the full version of the new Invasions mode, which VGC's Mortal Kombat 1 review describes as an impressively in-depth single-player adventure, which is explored through an almost tabletop board game style perspective. Look, man, it's again. I mean, the thing that sucks behind this is that they're constrained by the hardware. It doesn't feel good, you know. It doesn't feel good, but they were contracted to release this on those platforms. They did it. They said they could do it. They did it. And the hardware sucks to try to get a game like this put on. You know what I mean? I don't know. Yeah, I think it would be better to just not release it on that platform. Don't get me wrong. I think that's a better play. Just don't release it on that platform. You know, if it can't be done well, don't do it. You know, I say that all the time. And I don't think that this game on the Switch should have been done. I really don't. I think that if anything, they should have waited until the next Nintendo hardware came out and then ported it over. But if you can't do it right and you can't do it well, don't do it. Don't make people feel like they're cheated out of their money or whatever. But I think that people are being very short-sighted about this. If they expected the game to be anything close to what it was going to be on other platforms, you just have to understand the way the gaming industry works, man. Microsoft's next Xbox coming 2028 envisions hybrid computing. Top Microsoft executives wanted to build a new hybrid cloud gaming platform, but are they still doing it? Yeah, look, so here's my thing. I've been saying this for a while. I've thought Microsoft needs to move away from their traditional console. It's a it feels underwhelming for what their services, the all the services they offer under their branding of Xbox and Microsoft Gaming and everything. And the traditional Xbox console that they've continued to do, it just doesn't feel like they're getting everything out of it they could, you know. Nice, Davey, nice. That's awesome, man. Um, so I've kind of talked about the fact that I could see them moving more towards something closer to a device more along the lines of what we've seen with a lot of the mobile gaming handhelds that play that dual role of a mobile device that also can be docked and play that dual role of a traditional console, right? Um, and whether you're talking about the Switch or the Steam Deck or the Lenovo Legion Go or the Asus ROG Ally, that's a wide range of devices that do things very well, and a wide range of hardware for mobile hardware and everything too. Um, I think Microsoft's a better fit for doing something like that moving forward. Um, their services fit that kind of a platform better, I think personally. And apparently, we're starting to find out that apparently they're planning on a 2028 release for the next hardware, which would put them at a 8-year, roughly, probably. They tend to release their consoles about every like October to November. That's usually the play. They do the release before the holiday season. Trying to appeal to the holiday shopping demographic, you know. And so if they do release in November of 2028, the current Xbox Series X and S will be 8 years old. That's a little bit older than the average. I think the average for a console life cycle is roughly 7 years. So that'd be a little bit older. But I still think that what they need to do is kind of evolve their console into something a bit more appropriate for their entire service portfolio, you know? From the traditional gaming of, just that side of playing games on the device to streaming to the subscription system. I mean, everything that Xbox has, as well as making it maybe even play that dual role as a PC gaming um, hybrid. I don't know, but let's see what this has to say. Um, Microsoft new diskless Xbox Series X is far from the only news that just leaked out of the FTC versus Microsoft case. Documents may also reveal Microsoft's far future plans for 2028, by which the company believed it could achieve full convergence with its cloud gaming platform and physical hardware to deliver cloud hybrid games. Our vision: develop a next-generation hybrid game platform capable of leveraging the combined power of the client and cloud to deliver deep immersion, and entirely new classes of game experience. Thin operating system. Those are the words on just one slide from a leaked presentation dubbed the next generation of gaming at Microsoft, which appears to be a May 2022 pitch document entirely around this idea. Company imagined you playing the games using the combined power of a sub $99 gadget, possibly a handheld, and its xCloud platform simultaneously. I'm familiar with this idea because it's the one I advocated for in June of 2021, pointing out how Microsoft had a unique opportunity to build games that scale from native hardware to cloud. It's something that Microsoft's kind of sort of already tried by offering photorealistic scenery in Microsoft Flight Simulator by streaming in that data from a 2 petabyte cloud instead of your Xbox or PC where most of the game is running. The best example is still this Amazon demo from 2014 where the Lord of the Rings-esque armies don't actually live on your device. It's only the ballista that runs locally, so you can feel that responsive experience. Now, in these documents, Microsoft's calling the idea cohesive hybrid compute, a cloud-to-edge architecture across silicon, graphics, and OS enabling ubiquitous play. If it's happening, it may already be happening. The team suggested it would need to ink partnerships with AMD for the silicon by the first quarter of this year to lock down the company's Navi 5 graphics. For reference, we're only on Navi 3 right now, as well as potentially nabbing the company's Zen 6 CPU cores. It's also considering ARM. Microsoft suspected it would also need an NPU, machine learning AI coprocessor, to provide a wide variety of benefits, including super resolution, latency compensation, frame rate interpolation, and more. See below. The documents include an entire potential roadmap for the technology that would have seen hardware design begin in 2014. The first dev kits arrive into 2027, and the first hybrid cloud games being produced from 2024 through 2026. But before that, according to another slide, the company needed to make some key decisions on that silicon. Alignment on building a thin operating system to run the local parts of those cloud games, which teams would be responsible, and which hardware it would build to go with it. It would It's very possible none of that happened, just as Microsoft abandoned its dedicated xCloud SKU in favor of partnering with other providers instead. Hmm. According to the leaked documents, the pitch appears to have come out of a major ongoing conversation among Microsoft's top leadership, including CEO Satya Nadella, Xbox boss Phil Spencer, Windows devices and operating system leader Panos Panay, and xCloud CVP Kareem Kudri, and more. We're building 4 types of computers: cloud everything, a hybrid Xbox, hybrid Windows, and hybrid HoloLens, wrote Nadella, according to the leaded documents. We needed to bring the company's systems talent together to align on a unified vision. We can't go from big idea to big idea. We need a single big idea to rally the company around, he wrote. In another document from May 2022 dubbed Roadmap to 2030, company suggests that its new strategy may revolve around the controller. Controller becomes the hero, reads one key tenet. Adding the new Xbox controller is the only thing you need to play on every device. The document goes on to describe Sybil, a new Xbox controller that includes direct cloud connectivity as well as Xbox wireless and Bluetooth. We just saw this, dude, but it didn't say anything about the direct cloud stuff. This is the new controller they're rolling out with the new Xboxes at the this time next year. Also contains a picture of a possible mobile controller, a one-hand controller, and a gaming keyboard and mouse that Microsoft apparently considered building itself. The document also mentions a cloud console Keystone as a project that had already been funded, along with the new Brooklyn Xbox Series X refresh, which we just touched on too, and the aforementioned Sybil gamepad, though it noted that the full product version for Sybil was not currently approved as of May of last year. In 2021, Microsoft hired Kim Swift, a former Google Stadia design director, best known for Valve's Portal, to build a new team focused on cloud-native games. Not clear if that has anything to do with this initiative. Sony hired Jade Raymond away from the wreckage of Stadia as well, and her studio is working on cloud gaming technology ahead of a likely new Sony cloud gaming push. Interesting. Yeah, that's some interesting stuff. See what's coming out. Have until September 28th to decide if I will buy it. Yeah. Well, I mean, you are running out of games to play, so probably a good choice. Lol. Leaked Microsoft schedule mentions Dishonored 3, Ghostwire Tokyo sequel, Oblivion, and Fallout 3 remasters. List of unannounced games, including sequels and remasters, has appeared out of Microsoft versus FTC court documents. An old release schedule leaked in documents released for the FTC versus Microsoft trial mentions a number of unannounced games, including Dishonored 3, Ghostwire Tokyo sequel, Doom Year Zero, and Fallout 3 and Oblivion remasters. As posted by Wario64, the leaked document shows an old ZeniMax release schedule that lists a number of major titles we already know about, such as Starfield, Elder Scrolls 6, alongside a handful that have never been announced. Fallout 3 Remastered, Ghostwire Tokyo sequel, that would be from the Tango subsidiary of Bethesda. Tango being well known, obviously becoming a very, very household name earlier this year, even more than they already were, for Hi-Fi Rush. They made Hi-Fi Rush, AAA developer. Shadow dropped that game at a $30 price point, and it is going to be up there at Game of the Year nominations. I don't think it'll win, but it will be up there. It should be in that conversation. Absolutely. It doesn't really stand up to something like Baldur's Gate 3 or Tears of the Kingdom, but it deserves to be in that conversation, absolutely. Now, they've also done banger games before that. Ghostwire Tokyo was supposed to be pretty solid. The Evil Within 1 and 2 were great games. The thing that was interesting to see and refreshing to see from Tango was that they were able to come out with some games outside of what they're used to doing or we're used to seeing from them in more of like a horror genre of game. Hi-Fi Rush was totally different. Action, hack and slash, rhythm-based game, very bright comic book styled artwork and everything, as opposed to the dark horror genre-esque kind of games that they're known for in the past, which is very refreshing to see. And again, they shadow dropped that game. They didn't promote the crap out of it. They dropped it at a $30 price point. It was also on Game Pass, and it was a banger. Hi-Fi Rush was. Tango is definitely a studio people should be looking at and going, there are still some decent AAA studios out there. Tango is one of them. Dishonored 3. Dishonored 3. So, same dev from Redfall, right? Talking about Arcane. Yeah, pretty sure. Arcane. Yeah. So Arcane, yeah. Here's the thing. The weird thing about Arcane is that they've traditionally made games that people have enjoyed quite a bit, but I think that their recent release of Redfall has given people reason to be skeptical now. I think people should be a bit weary of diving into Arcane stuff now, and people go, well, they've done great stuff before, and yeah, they have, which is why probably a lot of people bought into Redfall. But Redfall was not great. And I think that's all it really should take. If a developer has given you reason to doubt them, then you should be a little bit hesitant on the front of their releases moving forward. If they can show you that if they can redeem themselves and show you they can do better moving forward again, then great. But if their latest release is something that is subpar and not worth, then you should be a little bit concerned moving forward, in my opinion. I think that's what Dishonored 3 should be. Can Arcane show us that they can get back into the good graces of fans and gamers, or or not? And I think that's reason to be hesitant on this front and maybe not buy into this game on release. Redfall has tainted their, reputation a little bit, and rightfully so. So I think that with Dishonored 3, are people going to buy into this anyways? Yeah, absolutely, because people like the Dishonored series. But Redfall should make people a little bit worried. Absolutely. Oblivion Remaster, Doom Year Zero appear on a release schedule. The list can be linked here, or accessed here through this link, excuse me. The unannounced games include a third game in the Dishonored series, despite recent reports that Deathloop was developed due to Bethesda turning down Dishonored 3. A Ghostwire Tokyo sequel also appears on the schedule, which appears to have been greenlit while the original game was still in development. A new Doom title named Year Zero is also on the list, along with 2 lots of DLC suggesting it's planned to be a major title. 2 of Bethesda's most loved older RPGs, Fallout 3 and Oblivion, are also on the list for a remake. With we'd already kind of seen that Oblivion was going to be getting a remake, but not Fallout 3. With both original titles over 15 years old now. Notably, the release schedule appears to be from before the COVID-19 pandemic hit, with games still aiming for their pre-pandemic release dates, such as Starfield slated for 2021 and Elder Scrolls 6 expected next year. That's not happening. Most of the unannounced games are on the schedule for financial year 2024, which means we likely won't see any of them until 2026 or later. Yes, absolutely. Also still possible the titles have been quietly canceled or shelved since the schedule was current, but we're holding out hope the titles still exist behind the scenes somewhere. Interesting. Huh. If you need that link or anything, I'll link this for you. There you go. Microsoft is planning to stream PC cloud games, internal emails reveal. Microsoft has been working on adding PC games to Xbox cloud gaming, initially in response to Google's threat with Stadia. Microsoft has been planning to stream PC games over the cloud, internal emails from the FTC versus Microsoft case show. Microsoft currently streams games through its Xbox cloud gaming service, but it's limited to Xbox titles as the servers run specialized Xbox Series X chips. Microsoft has been working on leveraging its Azure servers to stream PC games over Xbox cloud gaming. Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella emailed Xbox chief Phil Spencer, Kareem Kudri, ahead of cloud gaming at Microsoft, and Sarah Bond, ahead of Xbox Creator Experience in July of 2021, after rumors emerged of Google turning Stadia into a white label cloud gaming service for developers to run their games on. The email says, interesting. So labeled Stadia white label future hinted at in new job listing, 9 to 5 Google. Interesting. I wonder what this means. Seems like they will have a leg up because their stuff is more generic Linux, virtual machines plus network. But I'm assuming we will do the same for Game Pass PC, right? And if so, we can have the same flexibility in terms of offering cloud gaming as a service. What is that? As a service backend as well. Why am I blanking what that stands for? Yeah. Spencer was quick to respond in just over an hour to offer up his thoughts on Stadia and confirmed that Microsoft is working on an Azure solution for streaming native PC games from the cloud. Google has the ability to reuse their Linux cloud hardware. And yes, as we stream PC native games from an Azure GPU SKU, we would have more reuse scenarios to recoup costs, said Spencer, referring to the ability to offer a similar white label cloud gaming service to developers and publishers. Quote, Phil is correct. Sarah Bond and I, in partnership with Jason Zander's team, are driving a suitable Azure SKU as part of a series that will serve the customer demand we see externally for IaaS and to run our xCloud PC streaming stack. And said Kudri in the email chain, part of the Azure SKU is redacted in the court document, but it's clear Microsoft was working on streaming PC games over the cloud in July of 2021. Work on Xbox Cloud Gaming has slowed over the past year inside Microsoft, sources told me recently. Microsoft previously promised that Xbox Cloud Gaming would support your existing game library by the end of 2022, but that never happened. Microsoft also scrapped plans to launch a dedicated subscriptions version of Xbox Cloud Gaming. But earlier this year, Microsoft dropped some more hints about PC games being available on Xbox Cloud Gaming. British mobile network EE signed a 10-year deal with Microsoft to bring Xbox PC games to EE customers, but EE doesn't currently offer a streaming service. It's possible EE is building out a service, but it's more likely that Microsoft is closer with its Azure service to stream PC games. Microsoft has been openly testing mouse and keyboard support for Xbox Cloud Gaming, but only for Xbox console games so far. Okay. I didn't read all this email stuff. We'll just have to pay attention to see what happens moving forward. That's kind of wild. But if you want this, if you want to dive into a little bit more of this info in this article, there you go. This is the last thing I want to take a look at this morning. We've got some Lies of P stuff here. Let's see. So we're not going to get any user reviews for Lies of P until tomorrow. Woo, excuse me. But let's pull it up on Steam too. I don't think there will be there might already be someone here. Easy. Yeah, very positive. 1,400, 89%. That's really good, dude. Really good. The perfect game to fill the Bloodborne PC-shaped hole in our hearts. Nice, dude. Here we go. 47 hours on record already. Jesus. Pretty good review here. Overall, very, very well done. And currently the best non-FromSoft Souls out there with a few missteps and minor disappointments. Good things. Runs well. Looks good. Sounds good. Music, ambient, voiceovers, and effects. Enemy variety is sufficient. Bosses mostly extremely fun. More on that later. Pacing is pleasant. Weapon building is fun and encourages experimentation. Disappointments. A little bit too linear. While the areas are complex in itself, varied enough, and level design is overall good, there aren't any forks for you to decide where to go next in a greater sense. Think of Old Yarnum or the forest in Bloodborne. Apparently no hidden areas or bosses aside maybe New Game Plus stuff. Not quite there yet. And there's still a great benefit found in exploring as you find useful items, weapons, costumes, or upgrade materials. Just not so much big things to discover aside from one short cave I found. Bad things. Managed to parry. While I managed with the parry window given, it could be a bit looser in my opinion. The game would still be hard, but a tiny less stressful. While some enemies, even some bosses, are perfectly beatable with only guard or dodging, some fights do kind of demand it. Dodge from ground and iframing fury attacks should not be progress equipment locked. No, the fury attack dodge would be fine again if the parries were just a tiny bit more lenient. For the last area, too many high hit power mobs. The path through that area is quite long already. Having multiple rooms with multiple 4 to 5k hit power mobs just drags on for so long. So they're just like bullet sponges or you know, they're just super tanky. They don't have to deal less damage or even be placed differently. Just cut some of their HP out. Currently, the last stage felt as long as 2 to 3 previous areas combined. Last two bosses are a bit over-designed. People are freaking out about the first few bosses. Boy, they won't see that coming. Now, again, damage-wise, it's kind of fine on its own, but they have so many attacks which wind up so similar to each other. You never know in what combo state they actually are in right now. So find gaps to attack. Finding gaps to attack in is extremely hard. Last boss has 2 main attacks that can chain into something like 6 or 7 different outcomes, while also summoning delayed. Lingering attacks in the arena that randomly fly towards you, making some setups almost unavoidable when you are not super cautious. Now, if reducing move variety is not that easy or wanted by the devs at all, reducing damage would also be welcome, just so that you have a better chance at learning a 50-plus move broad attack pattern. Still hope they patch balance in the last area a bit, just to round out the experience. Then again, if FromSoft can get away with a Melania and Orphan, maybe these bosses are fine as well. Could be more fun, though, if they just were to be tuned down just a bit, given they are not optional like Melania. Yeah. This game's looking very good right now. And I'm so happy. I'm so happy it is. Because I've watched this for a long time in development. And the premise of this game just being like Pinocchio, which traditionally was a very dark story anyways, fairy tale. Being brought into like the Soulsborne tornado. What up, brother? Being brought into the genre of a Souls-like game, you know, Soulsborne-like game is very, very neat. It's been a very intriguing, you know, game for me for a long time, and I'm glad that it is doing very well. So you can see on Metacritic, it's an 81 right now. 49 critic reviews. That's on PS5. Let's look at the PC's an 82, Xbox is an 84, PS5 is an 81. Those are pretty close. It's all pretty close, man. And then the Open Critic, we're looking at let's see. '82 average, it's right on par. An 86% recommend. It's very, very good. I like, man. Doing a little project on Twitch streamers, eh? Would I like to be a part of it? I don't know, man. I mean, well, what is this project? I think that would determine. That would determine. Yeah. What's the project about, buddy? It's looking good, man. It's looking good. So good stuff. That's the jam, guys. That's the news, man. That's the news. Let's get some music popping off. Nice, nice, nice. We are going to segue our way now into going and playing the First Descendant beta for the day, okay? I hope everybody is having a great Tuesday. Appreciate everybody being a part of the news segment this morning. As always, love staying current on what's going on in the gaming industry. And, you know, it's an important thing for me, and I think for a lot of the other gaming enthusiasts in the community and everything. So it's always nice to start off getting down on what's new in the world of video games, you know. So, but now that we've seen what's happened over the past day, we're going to go move on and play some video games for the rest of the day, okay? That's coming up right now. But before we head over there, I'll just say thanks to everybody for being the amazing people you are, being part of what we do on the constant for all of our community members. And if anybody is new to our community, if you're not accustomed or if you don't know what we're about here, you know, we're live 6 days a week. Off on Wednesdays, no live streams on Wednesdays, but we do 6 days a week. We start at roughly 6 a.m. CST. Begin all of our streams with video gaming news like we just finished up here. And we then segue our way into playing video games for the rest of the day. We roughly stream for 8 to 9 hours a day. And all of the previous content we've done, whether it be the video gaming news segments, playthroughs that we've done of games we've played, just crazy, fun, wild clips and highlights of what's happened here in the channel every day when we stream and stuff. All that stuff's out there on the Twitch channel in playlist and on our YouTube channel in playlist as well. So go check that content out. And if you're enjoying it, man, come hang out with us when we are live. We're always looking for more cool people to be a part of our community here that just love the world of video games and are good peeps, man. That's what we're about. So I guess other than that, I hope the rest of everybody's Tuesday goes well. We will not be live tomorrow. Tomorrow's our day off. But we will be back with more video gaming news on September 21st, okay? So until then, everybody stay healthy, stay safe, be kind. And we will catch everybody on Thursday for more video gaming news, all right? Stream is not ended. No, stream is not ended.